And I said, wow, I mean, how can I get a hold of this Gospel of John? And my friend grabs the Bible from the pew and he shows me where the Gospel of John is. And I looked at it and says, I can read the whole thing in half an hour. Why does he spend 5 years? So he began to explain to me the depth of the Word of God and, all that kind of stuff. And finally I said, okay, that's fine. And I started to hear the message every Sunday. And then I started to attend some of the small groups. And slowly and gradually, everything I heard in the last 12 years began to make sense. And I am hearing the Word speaking to me directly. And I start to get convicted in my heart. And now I understand what God has done for me. And I got to a point of being terrified because I got it now. I have to make a decision. And then September 11 happened. And I am so thankful that I agreed to go to church that weekend because I was terrified of what the backlash might look like towards me. Everybody knew I was a Muslim. How are they going to feel about me being there in such a tragic event? But my friends assured me that Christ didn't teach us to behave this way. And I went and I heard a message from the Gospel of Matthew about loving your enemies and praying for those who persecuted you. And that was the nail that sealed the coffin for me. I did not know that phrase back then, by the way. I knew the moment of truth is here. Make a decision. And for a couple of months, I would get this scary dream. Muslims, by the way, are terrified of the idea of death, what might happen to you after death in the grave, because there is this belief that you also live another life in the grave, different life. You could be tortured in the grave, you could be pampered in the grave, but then also Judgment Day is another terrifying experience because you have no clue how God is going to receive what you have done for Him. You're at the mercy of His mood at that time. So my dream was I died and I'm standing before the throne of God and I hear God telling me, why did you reject my son? Why have you rejected him? And I didn't know the answer to this. And I was surprised to even hear a question like this from the God that I thought He denied that Jesus is the Son. Yet apparently the true God is telling me,